Well, hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to our first look at a new ancient city builder known as Pharaoh, A New Era. Actually, it's based on the Sierra games from 1992 to 2002. If you remember Caesar or Zeus or Immortal Cities, or of course Pharaoh or Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom, you'll know that Sierra was knocking it out with these ancient city builders back in the 90s to early 2000s, and they were incredible. If you're a big fan of games like Tropico, if you like Anno 1800 or Banished, this game will definitely be for you, as it tries to stay true to the original with its graphics and art style, but also breathes new life into it with resource management important to the Egyptians. You know, it's going to be really cool building farms and such on the Nile and trying not to get flooded out. And it's going to be risky and dangerous, and there's going to be disease and managing of all different trade of resources, and I'm very excited. And I love this splash screen. And by the way, if you've watched this far, let me know that you're excited to download it today down below in the comment section, and let me know you got it, because it's free on Steam's next event, going on until about the end of February. So if you want to try out Pharaoh A New Era right now, you can. It's a free demo, but there's no release date on the game just yet. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section during the video about the game, and if you'll be picking it up yourself when it comes out, hopefully soon. Alright, let's jump in and create a new ancient city in Pharaoh, A New Era. Man, I love this splash screen. It's really good. Now, this is the custom campaign map for this demo. The two cities at the bottom of the map along the Nile are basically starter cities that teach you how to hunt and do basic commerce and things like fire prevention and safety for your people. The city at the very top there near the delta is where we're going to be building our third city, specializing in farming and some more advanced trade. So we'll take a look at the game here, we'll set up some cities and see how things work. Let's go. The objective for this city then is to get a population of 600, which isn't that hard, but we will need to have 10 modest homesteads. And just like it is in Anno and all the other Anno games, I was going to say just 1800, but all the other Anno games, of course, allow you to upgrade homes as you provide more and more resources to your people. And this game is no exception to that. And here we are, the beautiful Nile. Look at that, gorgeous, all the marshlands, and of course all the fertile soil for building all sorts of different farms. And all this lush landscape to build a beautiful city. Look at all that. Lots of trees around, lots of waterways, and of course, ways for us to possibly trade up and down the river if we need to. Alright, well, what we're going to do here is set up a basic city and then get things started. Of course, over on the right side, we have the ability to make houses, and of course, that's going to be the most important thing in this game, is to keep track of what their needs are and to accommodate them with things like entertainment, religion, production, and of course, the most important thing, probably food and safety, which then will allow them to eat, and of course, things like, for example, hygiene, so that way they don't become diseased, the ability to drink and wash themselves, but also a physician and an apothecary to help prevent malaria, that type of thing. All right, let's do a little city layout, and then we'll go ahead and see how things go. All right, so we laid out our first neighborhood a little bit, and it looks pretty good. We're going to use this blank space at the top for some smaller services, such as fire prevention and whatnot. We're going to take this larger area down here, turn it into storage for food from the granary, and of course, our bazaars. We're also going to put some water and such down at either end. And think about this neighborhood as kind of like an area where, think about like at the postman. you know, where they have to deliver from house to house. Everything in this game is delivered kind of by foot rather than the workers going to the services go to the workers. So we're going to have a water supply down here so they can drink and, of course, wash themselves, as I mentioned before. And another great thing about this game is, of course, the look of these wells and such will look even more beautiful as we upgrade our city with all the things that they want and that they need. So let's do a little safety here. We'll do firehouses at the edge. And, of course, you can never have enough of these buildings. I cannot believe how many you need, but it's always a good idea to have more than what you probably need. And this is the type of game, too, where if you're a spreadsheeter, you can definitely max out everything by figuring out what the distance is between a firehouse before it works, and you could basically pre-lay out cities. Now, for me, that's not as fun because you just end up transplanting one city to another, and of course, each city has its own restrictions, and so it might have to differ every time that you play, especially in a campaign where there's different objectives, but you get the point. We'll put our granary over here. So this is where all of our stuff will be stored from the farming area, which we've connected here. And we're also going to put down a bazaar, and that'll allow us to basically sell goods to the people. Excellent. You can also see the roads improving a little bit if you look closely, so you can kind of see where the desirability increases based on those things. And we're going to probably also put down one more thing. We have a storage yard for some of the other things we need, but we do need to start farming, and so that way we can have some food. So let's go ahead and go to food and farming. A worker camp is basically workers will camp out here. And instead of being, of course, on the river, down by the river, they'll be a little above it. So that way when they go to work, essentially we're building like a barn. And this is where they'll rally for work, and then they'll go down to work the fields. And the fields will be destroyed every year basically by flooding. So we're just going to try to use all that fertile soil in order to grow a bunch of food. So we have a fig farm here, harvested in September. When built on a meadow. So we can actually build it down here, as they say it's a meadow, but looks like we might be able to put it above ground, or, well, you know what I mean, up on the other soil. All right, let's go ahead and put some of these down. We'll put 2 of these down here, and let's see how many workers it may need. Wow, look at that, 91% fertile. The next floods will come in September. So we have from January until September to harvest all of this. We need to be careful. Okay, let's go ahead and go with a few more farms just so everyone can be fed. Maybe way too many, but I guess we're learning, so that's okay. 3 fields there should get us going. And then the workers here will rally there and actually gather reeds and things like that too. All right, let's on pause and watch everybody come into the city. Now, one thing that irks me a little bit is that the people who come to your city will basically just flood in like the Nile. You might be able to see them at the top of the map just pouring in. They don't necessarily take the roads. They just go straight for the house. So there they go. All right, so let's continue to add more city services as they're needed. Let's start from the top then. Hygiene is taken care of. Safety, for the most part, is taken care of except for the police station. It'll curb crime in the neighborhood, so we'll probably put a few of those there, and maybe some down here too. Now, as the official of each building passes the homes, it'll check mark off a few things that are needed in the list in order for them to upgrade their home. So when the police station walks by, the officer or whatnot walks by, the soldier, whoever you want to call them, it'll give them the safety that they need. When the bazaar walks by, it'll give them the food they need. And when the well walks by, it'll give them the water they need. So now you can see all these people arriving, pots and baskets and other things as they're moving into the level 1 home, the crude hut, which you'll soon see upgrade as soon as somebody walks over with water. Yep, this guy here bringing over water now. So they upgrade from a crude to a sturdy hut, and you'll continue to see upgrades go on as more and more people flood in, take their jobs, and then immediately start, well, getting to work to supplying the city with what they need. And there's a pretty big map here to explore. This is a rather small area, but it's still pretty large in terms of filling up. But I can remember the maps of Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom being quite large, and doing massive public work projects like building pyramids and such will be all a part of this game as well, as it was a part of the previous games like Caesar building the Colosseum, or things like Emperor building massive temples, and the Great Wall, as I mentioned. Oh boy. Well, it's great to see all these buildings popping down. Excellent. And it looks like people are working the fields. Wonderful. Looks like 10 employees are needed on the worker camp. And I think we want to supply more workers there. That would probably be better to get those things done ASAP. Excellent. Now, I kind of want to, I'm a little nervous here, so I want to just add some more safety to other sides of the town, too. Fire is an incredibly dangerous thing in this game and can spread incredibly quickly. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure it's... I'd rather be overkill. It seems like this is the type of game where even the well could burst into flame. Yes, the hole in the ground that holds water can literally burst into flame, and you're going to have a bad time. All right, let's see. Plague is still possible, but the health condition of the house is good. All right, let's go ahead and work on hospitals now. That might be a good thing. Hygiene, physician. Let's go ahead and put a couple of those down. Okay, there you go. Damn it. I tried to prevent it. Oh, boy. All right, well, we'll have to rebuild that the granary now. Yeah, even with the fire department next to it, it's still not enough. All right, we'll build a few more of those. There we go. It could have also collapsed as well and burst into flame that way. We'll rebuild the granary again. But luckily, we don't really have any food ready at the moment. We'll have to wait until the harvest season to really get things started. So there's not going to be a lot of food at the moment, but of course, that's what they want there, is to buy food from a local bazaar. And since we're waiting for September, it's just going to be a little bit. So I'll work on the city, and we'll continue to grow. Well, it's now August, and everybody's bringing all their food to the granary, so we should see some big upgrades here shortly as people flood in. Look at this, we're at 1,000 people. I made a massive city, but keep in mind, a lot of these industries take a lot of employees, too. 12 just at the granary alone, and of course, 10 at each of the little work camps, too. So eventually, all of our workforce will be used for public services and other things, and of course, for production. Malaria. It's most prevalent close to water and marshland. Okay, so now we're going to need to build our apothecary, so that way we can prevent that too. So let's go ahead and put that at either side. Trying to keep things symmetrical. Sometimes it's fun to build a completely symmetrical city, but other times it's fun to do other things too. We can build our festival square over here and do a few other things shortly, but we'll wait until they have the basic needs done, which is going to be the local bazaar. Looks like disease is now striked. Or struck. Let's see where exactly it may be. Lots of people flooding in. To see where there might be some disease here. Looks like we're finally getting things distributed. The next thing is going to be desirability of the area. Let's go with some religion here. Osiris. We'll have some shrines that will make everybody a little happier around here. There we go. And the apothecary is going around. I can see them doing their thing. It looks like disease is striking, but of course, they're able to cure it quickly. Well, look at that. The Nile has flooded. And we are safe and dry up here, but the fields are completely underwater. And now November it resides. And all that beautiful, rich nutrients is remaining. Gorgeous. All right. So desirability of the area must continue to improve. What we can do in order to improve desirability is delete some of these homes and make things a little nicer that way by making like parks. So just as you would in city skylines, we're going to go ahead and build some little temples. Actually, can we build a temple? We'll build little shrines instead. And then we'll build some area for water. It'll look nice. There we go. Alright, that should improve things as soon as food comes around. The next thing we're going to work on is the storage of goods. We're going to build a stock area if we can. Oh, it's still locked for the time being. Since this tutorial is kind of more restrictive, they want you to go in certain order before you're able to produce things. So this should be good in a few moments. Oh yeah, looks like food's coming around now again. And more people are moving into the city. Excellent. And there she goes, the Nile flooding again, and this year even more food. We'll see our houses upgrade again. Disease is still striking, building more apothecaries, and of course another physician should assist with that. We've got one at the moment for the physician, but it'll be all right. Now, the houses require desirability in the area, so as the other houses upgrade, it should kind of bring the whole neighborhood up together. Some of the houses that are a step below kind of debuff, so you got to work on bringing everybody up so that way the neighbor's house doesn't stink up the place, you know what I mean? Alright, so everybody's flooding in now again, just like the Nile, and we should see hopefully more goods and services being taken care of. We'll see. Alright, our last city became a little unmanageable with disease, so I've taken the lessons from that previous run and applied it to this one to try to make a smaller yet a more service-friendly city that should allow for more people in it. As the buildings upgrade too, we'll get more and more workers into our city as well. So we don't necessarily have to fill out the map and can build things in districts. For example, we can build this as kind of our main city. And if there were some other areas over here where we were doing logging, for example, or if we wanted to make clay in a more fertile area and have homes closer to that, we could do a few homes there and provide different levels of services. Not all the city buildings need to have the absolute maximum number of services, although that's a little bit more fun. We're also using roadblocks too in order to basically keep all the services inside the city so that way people don't wander out. Just taking all those lessons and improving each time, and that makes the game a little bit more fun, as well as building things a little asymmetrical from time to time. A little symmetry and a few things asymmetrical as well. I'm going to go ahead and build an area up here for a festival eventually, and also some more shrines and such for the god Osiris that we'll try to please at some point. Additionally, we've got a lot more farms this time. Actually, this field looks like it's almost partially underwater, but I think it's just right on the shore. Look at that. Farm field is not irrigated. We'll see about that, buddy. It is completely underwater, it looks like. But yes, so we should have some laborers come over here shortly and then start farming those fields, so that should be pretty good as more and more people arrive in the city. All right, we're starting to get sturdy huts, and then they should upgrade to better homes as soon as the first harvest takes place in September. So workers should be going out to those fields shortly, and there they go. Excellent. This is now occupied. You can see reeds and stuff laying there. Really cool that they're actually doing that kind of stuff. All right, so I built 10 farms for the 10 workers. We'll see how that works out, and then we'll expand the city over time. So let's see how it looks in the next year. We'll also be able to build the Apothecary very shortly, but we're not able to build it from the start. Yeah, so we don't have access to it just yet, but eventually we will, and that'll be important for us a little later on. But let's go ahead and build a juggler school, which should keep people happy. On the corners and such, we should be able to build a little juggler area, which will keep people entertained. So are you not entertained? If you are, make sure you click that like button too to let me know you'd like to see more of this game. This is a hell of a lot of fun so far, I must say. So thank you very much for your support, and of course for subscribing and just being here. I'm having a great time with this. It is so cool how big of a city you can build up, and of course, as you've seen in the thumbnail, things like monuments and many different districts and such can all be built, and that's going to be a good time. Wow, another building fire with the fire department right there, that building right next to it. Can never have enough of these buildings, I swear. It's all about distance for distribution, but even right there. Okay, that's going to hurt the farming for the first year. We're already into June, and now it's going to be July, August, September shortly. Let's build another workers area. I'm actually going to do 2, just in case one burns down for the next time. Got to keep those areas employed. So most of our employment now going for city services. People delivering water, people juggling for entertainment and desirability, and of course things like the, well, eventually the food going around too. Food and water being very important, but as well as building inspectors too. All right, let's see how things go for our first harvest. It'll be a rough one, but it'll be all right. Now, the other thing we want to do is beautification, but again, these won't unlock until later. So statues and gardens will be things that we can do to increase desirability, although a lot of these things are locked for the tutorial, which is a little annoying. They want you to do it the hard way before doing it the easy way. And the easy way, of course, is to maybe make a neighborhood and put all the things at once and completely pre-planning your city. But this kind of wants you to do things in steps, which is okay, I guess. All right, all the food is coming in. That's going to be about over 2,000 food for the first year, and that's good because that should be more than enough to feed 672 people, which, of course, it'll increase. Unemployment is at 41%. Well, that's not bad because we'll be adding more buildings, including the, well, now the Apothecary. Excellent. So now we'll do that, and then we'll, of course, build our... we're going to also build our little clay industry very shortly. I'm going to go ahead and put these all around the apothecaries. Now, of course, there's a way to easily read onto everything in terms of like hygiene and whatnot. There's all these wonderful, helpful overlays so you can see entertainment, food distribution, that type of thing. So this game is all about pre-planning and redesigning and adding on to, by the way. Once you build this city, if you need more people, the question is, where do you build onto next? Do you build a separate little neighborhood down here and kind of connect the two, maybe with an entertainment district in the middle or services there? Kind of cool. All right. Oh, it looks like the houses are about to be completely full on food. They're getting there. And the Nile has flooded again. All right, let's wait another year and see how things go. Alright, maybe we need much more farming than I think. Check that out. We built a ton of farms now along the Delta. In the previous games of Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom and many other titles like that, you would build the farm building and then you'd build the fields around them. It's the same with many of the Anno games as well, where you'd put down a farm and then design the fields, for example, hemp or something like buckwheat along those lines. Farm is a massively populated building, but with the Nile, of course, we have to basically build the infrastructure above the water line, and then of course all the fields down there. So hopefully this is enough figs now for the next year, and that's what's preventing our houses from upgrading. So we're still managing that, still improving little by little. Unemployment's only at 40%, so that seems like a lot, but of course everything is done with manual labor here. So once we build a couple of clay pits, and once we build like a pottery, that could wipe out the entire free unemployment. And well, let's see if it actually gives us a number. Well, actually, it looks like 760 of the work. Oh, 300 out of 760. So it looks like 100% of the people in the city can work. It doesn't account for children or the elderly or retired or whatnot. And I'm not sure why everybody has stopped. That's interesting. Why most people are not bringing the goods up here. Must be some game mechanic to that I have yet to decipher. Well, let's go ahead and try to build here. Oh, looks like a lot of the harvest is lost. They just drown? I wanted to build another granary. I don't think it has to do with this roadblock at all, because they have multiple ways to get into the city bypassing that roadblock. That's interesting. Alright. Let's go ahead and do that. Maybe it represents more time for needing the harvest to be complete. So let's add a few more work camps. Maybe they, even though they had it all loaded, maybe they just need more helping hands down there on those fields. And I'm all about that. So let's go ahead and get a few more people into those fields. It's kind of hard to see if they're working or not, even though they're at the camp. But let's try that for the next year, and we'll continue to improve little by little. That's what I love about these games, is that for me, you know, you can be told all the instructions, but still there's a learning process. You have to understand what kind of looks right, too. You could kind of compare your village size to your field size and be like, whoa, I have way too much food, and you need to start selling some, or vice versa, maybe importing. All right, let's continue to improve. Things now steady with the food. We're going to improve now with the Temple of Osiris, and that should increase the desirability for many of the people in the area, which is the last thing that we need, religious facilities and such. Well, we need to build more of those, so let's go ahead and make sure we increase the number of those, throwing a couple around or whatnot. Can't have enough temples, I guess, sometimes. There we go. And, of course, I believe some of the representatives of those shrines should go around. Actually, let's take a look at the one along the street here. Yeah, this house here not having access to religious facilities. Ah, now they do. Perfect. Now they've made their improvement from these... Oh, yeah. Ooh, they're getting much better. Hey, now we can build industry. All right, so now we can go ahead and build a clay pit close to water and build a potter nearby and expand with our lovely little trading depot. All right, let's build a couple of clay pits. What do we have for population? Oh, a lot more people are coming in. 39%. Excellent. Now, the thing about that is every time your houses improve, they also increase the amount of population, too. So, you know, once you have improved your city, you're going to have a higher unemployment. But unemployment's okay to have, as, of course, it gives you the means to expand. So, without that, you can build your city all day, but nobody's going to be doing anything in it. Let's check out the animations on the clay pits and stuff. I really like that. Let's build 2 to start. And we want to build these far away from the homes, too, as they could probably decrease desirability. And then let's build a, let's see, a potter now. And an area, the clay pot breaking. And let's also build an area to store all those goods, a storage yard, which also acts as a trade depot. So that's good. Ah, yes. Just like in Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom. At least that's the one I played the most. But hey, I want to know from you, which game have you played the most of, if any, for the Caesar titles, or none? And or some of your favorite city builders growing up, too, whether it may be more recent with Banished or Anno, or if you're really old school and enjoy the very original SimCity. I'd like to know. All right, let's go ahead and, store some pottery in the storage yard. We are accepting that, so it just needs to be made now. We just need some workers here. The workers, there are no workers for the clay pit, even though unemployment's at X amount of percent. I think they might just need to live closer. So we could build a few homes for people to also live up here. Now, they don't have to be high-quality homes, but since we did build a new section of the city, we better go ahead and add some security for it, too. One of the things I always forget to do, and I'm taking no chances, I'm doubling down. You all have seen what can happen to a random granary on the corner of the map. All right, so some more people will move in here. They'll be closer to this area. So these will be like the clay pit workers, and this will kind of be the main city for commerce, all sorts of workers here at the granary or whatnot. Oh, looks like, yeah, so it looks like some of the food's getting caught down there, but I'm not sure how to resolve that. So if you know, let me know down below. Oh, perfect. We're storing almost 6,000 food. Fantastic. And looks like water and fire are able to come up here too, through this way. Right up this way. All right, let's go ahead and delete that roadblock there. And all the city services can now expand to up here. So that means fire and water and stuff can come up here. And now we have workers for the clay pits. Excellent. And that means somebody to work at the pottery area, the potter there. And that means exports. Perfect. So each of these homes has 20 occupants with extra room for 8. So that's, yeah, that's quite a bit of people that'll work up there. So we can expand our clay industry quite a bit. I think there is the storage for clay, but it looks like it's being all brought to the potter right away. And it looks like they can store up to 200 units of clay before they make pottery. Let's go ahead and increase that a little bit more. Now the city's bumping. Great. I'm really happy to be able to do things inefficiently and incorrectly and then learn from those and make a direct connection between things that may be working or not. And then sometimes just build things because you feel like you want to rather than having to worry about spreadsheets and stuff all the time. It's a video game, not work. Sometimes it can be real work to get a game to go the way you want it to. Well, let's go ahead and give to the people of Egypt a lavish festival for Osiris. That should increase a lot of happiness and such too. And it looks like clay, yep, is being distributed there. You see the little wagons with the clay blocks. Awesome. And we can continue to build more and more of those. It takes a little bit of time to build those units of clay, but it looks like it's going quite well. Let's build some more potters. I don't want to get too close to the city. One thing that I really enjoyed about Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom, though, was walls to separate those areas. Check this out. Great job. Now we have industry up and running. We can make all sorts of different statues and stuff. Beautiful. Well, let's do a big O statue to... Oh, it doesn't really say what they are, but... Oh, nice. Let's see. Let's go ahead and build over... Actually, let's build here. Because that's cool. Oh, massive area of effect on those. And let's build back here, too. Yes. Ah, yes, the statue of the arm folder. Family get-togethers, parties, the person who tells everyone else what not to do, but doesn't have it together themselves. Yes, the ancient god of backseating. Ah, yes. Damn, this music is bumping, y'all. Damn. I guess as your city improves, the music just gets popping. Bro, can we get a like for the dude on the flute? Holy, man. Whatever they paid that guy for that soundtrack, pay him double. Holy crap. Wow. All right, well, we can delete some buildings in the center and beautify that too, but it looks like we can also beautify the roads somehow. Let's see. Small statues. Ah, there it is, a plaza. Can people walk through this? Placed on paved roads to improve desirability. Oh, these roads. I see. Ah, we could expand. Look at that. Perfect. Ah. That's wonderful. So now we can build Main Street just like this. Very nice. Some of the people obviously not wanting to live so close to the industries, but this is looking nice. Now we have ordinary cottages, which require entertainment. They have hardly any entertainment in that area. Oh, and look at that. The wells are now improving to look like beautiful from the small little hole in the ground to these beautiful lavish structures. Gorgeous. All right, people want some entertainment in the area. We're going to take this house here. Goodbye. And we're going to go ahead and put a juggler on those corners. So, of course, you can tweak things and make it look more custom. And looks pretty nice that way. Juggler should come over, and that should improve a little bit more. A little entertainment now. I love how it's step by step. The more and more you play, of course, you'll know in advance what you need. Let's do kitty. Big kitty. All praise the kitty. All right, let's see. Hey, victory! We did it. Fantastic. Wow, we can move on to the next mission now. Unfortunately, we can't keep governing, but that's all right. Wow, that was a hard difficulty level? Damn right it was. Good. So we've completed that era, and now we move forward into a different period with new types of technology and new cities that are being built along the delta, or rather just the Nile itself. And we can work our way up the map, I'm sure, to build newer and newer cities and eventually move towards building monuments as well. And this about getting our first Pharaoh. Population of 1,000 and building 10 modest apartments is the goal for this one. That's going to be interesting. Let's go. Even bigger than last time. And this time around, managing multiple gods by building different types of shrines and temples. Interesting. So the same concept as we explored before, but a little more difficulty now. We have, well, literally nothing here. But, of course, we have the Nile with a massive amount of area for farming. Fantastic. And I don't know if we can actually build bridges across, but maybe there'll be an option for, obviously it's the Nile, so it's quite large. But there could be the option in future missions to build a ferry across the other side and do boat docking and trading along the river. Obviously, it would be a missed opportunity if they didn't do that. So given the title screen, I'm sure that we'll have more than enough stuff like that. Check it out, manufactured goods. We now have a brewery and a potter. Very nice. We have the ability to do all the same stuff as before, so and then some. As we step forward a little bit, we now have to worry about, the 3 different temples for Bast, Osiris, and Ra. And we also have our same old entertainment stuff. Very, very cool. All right, so once we build a city here, I would assume the layout will be the same. Very smart, by the way, to build a city somewhere near the water, as that helps a little bit more for the, well, actually you need it in order to provide water to your people. So tuck in a little city here and build a city down this way, and then extend a little bit to the north for farming and put industries probably here. So you put all your clay pits on this side, farming up here, and then your major city down here along this way, and maybe some more workers' quarters up here. It's a very tight space, and it also costs money to cut these trees down. So you're going to want to make the most amount of your money from trading, which is exactly what the pottery is for, but the game will probably be over by then. Gorgeous looking map. I love all the sand dunes and the details. Really keeping original to the 90s and early 2000s, but also bringing a lot of new animations and art styles in, and new ways to play with this one. I must say, I really do like it. Finding some of the things complex for our first playthrough, and things are a work in progress. And oftentimes on these on-rail tutorials, it can be quite restrictive, where you've got the knowledge from previous games, you know what you're doing, but you just don't have the means because they're trying to teach you something their way first. And that can be okay, though. Not a problem. Not a problem. Well, that's all for today's first look at Pharaoh, A New Era. This game was so phenomenal that I want to do a full demo playthrough on the channel for a live stream. So if you want to see a full playthrough too, check the channel for this one. It should be up soon, and or up now if you're seeing this sometime in the future, and we'll take a more in-depth look at the game, all of its features, and all the missions that are available. But knowing these types of games, a lot of the missions can be very simple. There can be quite a lot of them, but also difficult to complete because, of course, there's so many different challenges. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining me. Welcome again to all the new subscribers today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you very much for smashing the like button. Thanks for becoming members, and thanks for dropping by for a new era of Pharaoh. I'll see you all very soon again. Check out the channel for that live stream and much more city builders, including ancient times, long before this even, with games like Ancient Cities, and of course Anno 1800, 1404, many more. Tropico, City Skylines, anyone? Yeah, check them out now on the channel. Welcome aboard. It was a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.